Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We have the Slash WD-40. We're doing the bearings, and I just realized I started like this in a portrait, then I went to a landscape, and that pretty much just made it sideways. So you would just be seeing this, but in landscape. So the reason why I like to record with the Slash in landscape is because the Slash is very wide. So I did the front right, and that took almost 40 minutes. 40-minute video to fully do the front right, because I haven't done this in a long time. I used to do all the bearings in like 15 minutes back before, like 3 months ago. But I forgot how everything works, so I know this is lefty-righty. It's lefty-righty backwards. So it's righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. That's what I meant to say. So let's go to right to loose, to loosen. And I just now when I reviewed the video, I realized it was sideways. And I just hope this one isn't sideways. If this one's sideways, I'm done. I'm just doing the back. So I'm going to do one front. If the front one takes under 20 minutes, because I just did this. So if it takes under 20 minutes, then... Jesus, that was stuck. If it takes under... God damn, if it takes under 20 minutes, then I'll do all the rest of the 3. So, damn, where's my wire brush? I need my wire brush. So, I put this Velcro on here because it wears the paint off the side of the body. Just the normal, just the T-bone guard by itself it wears the paint off the side of the body. And with the Velcro on here, then what that does is it's a little bit softer when it's not like this. So it would stop the paint wear so much, is what I figured, but it actually kind of works. So I need the wire brush to get all that crap out of the Velcro. So it's soft again. I did this with the right side in the last video, but that video was sideways, so it'd be kind of hard for you guys to watch. So, I wish I had a Dremel. I have all the tools. I have cutoff wheels for it. I have these wire brushes. I have these normal brushes. I have sandpaper. Yeah, but I don't actually have the motorized Dremel. That's what sucks. We have tools for it, but we don't actually have the whole Dremel. So, before I used to use a toothbrush, now I'm using this. This is a Dremel brush. What it does is it spins, and you just use it like that. But I'm using that. So, yeah. And 2, before when I said I use my toothbrush, no, I don't use it on my teeth. I use it on this, and then I put it away in the drawer because it's muddy. So, alright, so I got that off. I got the wheel off. Now, these hex adapters, if you let this sit and it stays wet for a while, you're going to have some rust. Maybe on the pin, maybe not. Maybe in the bearings and it sticks to the hex adapter, maybe not. So what you want to do is you want to just wiggle it back and forth like that and push it at the same time. And what it does is that goes underneath it and then you twist. And then that gets that loose. And then you just pull it up. It might be, jeez, it might be a little bit harder to do. Oh, it's all the way over there. There we go. Yeah, see, very rusty. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, there you go. You can see that, very rusty. So, that just took 4 minutes. Now, these pins here, these pins are actually really nice with rust. So, if there's a lot of rust around them, these are very hard to actually rust. I don't know if they're stainless steel, if they're just steel, or what the hell are they? I don't freaking know. So, I'm just going to push this out. This might be a little too big. I just dropped the bit. If I can find the bit. The bit is stuck in the bell crank. Oh, that's really bad. Get this the other way. And there it goes. Bye! Find it. There it is. Alright, so these, I gotta get my brush, and I'm gonna brush all the rust out. If this normal brush doesn't work, I can get my wire brush. This is the most boring thing of this. Yeah, it worked a little bit. Oh well. I got enough of the rust off. I mean, it looks a little bit better. I know you guys can't see how much rust is inside of it, but... So what I do, because these pins are really small, I go like this, I slide it in there. I slide it in one side, and I just snap it in the other side. So then now, it's stuck in the hex adapter. Now it's stuck in there. And at the end, I'll show you guys how to get that out. It's actually very simple. Actually, I'll just show you now. What you do is you gotta have a longer screw bit, and then you just go from the inside. If you have an Allen wrench, it'll be easier, but flat heads work the same if you have it facing sideways. But you just push that out like that. So when that's halfway out, then you can just pull it out like that. I'm keeping it in there because I don't want to lose that. So, we are supposed to... If you guys are following along... Oh, sorry. If you guys are following along, you can just rewind the video. But I'm going to tip this upside down. So you can see that pin right there on the bottom? Yeah, that just needs to be screwed out. I'm not taking the steering arm off this time. This is the steering arm with the steering toe right here. Right here. I'm not taking that off this time. That's very painful to do that, because I don't have the right size socket. I have one size bigger. I don't know. I don't know if it needs that size in metric or if it needs that size in US standard. I really don't know what I used it with, but holy crap, that's a lot of work. This thing was very dirty to start off with. I kind of cleaned it a little bit. My grandma's going to be very mad at me because this is her coffee table. I'm not on the dining room table anymore. My grandpa doesn't like me to be up there with this. Well, I can understand, because that table was brand new before. Now it's kind of a little bit ruined because of scratches from the mud and the dirt. But anyways, I'm going to leave that depressing crap behind right now, because I'm going to be very depressed if I get yelled at, because this was a brand new coffee table. I don't know about now, but hopefully I can just wipe it out with a Windex. But I am going... You guys see that on the camera? See that black dot that came around here? Bye, asshole. Alright. That was weird. So we just gotta take that little pin out. I'm used to it. Don't be scared. I'm used to it. So we just take this pin out. Then we take the spindle out. Then we take the wheel pin out. It'll come out. There we go. So it is easier if you take the steering toe off if you have the right tools, but I do not. So I'm going to keep it in. It's still kind of easy like this, but then you just take your flathead or Allen wrench or whatever you have, and you just push, and you just you hold it tightly, and you push. You're supposed to push. It's not coming out. Holy crap, I may need to take this all the way off. Try the other side. Oh, that is a little bit looser. You push down really hard. It's not coming off. Gotta push. It's not coming off. Okay. So I'm taking this the rest of the way off. Oh, I'm going to try my pliers instead of doing that half-ass hillbilly bullcrap. Okay, the pliers don't work. I know pliers are also half-ass hillbilly bullcrap, but I don't have the right size socket for it, so I just bent it up at an angle. There we go. Oh, there goes that. Well, at least I got the nut. The nut's really hard to find if you drop it, because it's less than this big. This is the size of the nut. This is literally the size of it, so it's very hard to find if you drop it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew that. I'm going to hand tighten this nut on here. Hand tighten this bull crap. Hand tighten. Okay, so now we get the thing here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it like this on the coffee table, and I'm going to try to smack it. Or tough it out and just push it. Oh, there we go. Now we got some progress. Progress! Come on, progress. Progress. Oh my god. Look at this. Okay, that is very bad. This is most likely frozen. That is fully frozen. This doesn't even have play in it. That's how frozen that is. This is probably fully rust inside there. I'd be very surprised if there's even ball bearing left inside of this bearing. So I'm gonna throw that in the junk bearing pile. Ugh. I'd be very surprised if we can even crack that loose. Oh jeez. So it actually helps if you get a screwdriver that's bigger, because what it does is it centers, and then you get to just pull it down like that, and it centers inside of there. So now that that's partially out, and it just took the bit with it. That is not good. Now I need to use my pliers and pull it out. So if you do not have rusty bearings, they are stuck inside of there. Well, when I just pulled that out, that just pulled the freaking bearing back inside of there. Just pulled the bearing right back inside of the spindle. Hey. So if you do use that technique, do not use a screwdriver that has a bit on the end of it. Use an actual screwdriver. Yeah, like this. This does not have a bit. This is an actual screwdriver. See if this is big enough. It is big enough. So we push that out and we pull that off. Waterproof my ass. Dumbasses don't even know how to make waterproof bearings. Alright, well, those bearings are unfixable. So now we take 2 of our new bearings and grab it. Here. See, these bearings here, these spin really easy. See, that's the point. That's why they're bearings. They're supposed to lubricate or make the thing be able to spin. So lubrication is not just a liquid that makes everything slidey. Lubrication is just to make it's just to reduce the friction. So if you put this axle straight through the spindle and just left it with no bearings, that has a lot of friction. But if you use these bearings, it reduces friction because of the ball bearings inside of it. Yeah, see? This actually spins. That's good. That's what you want. You don't want it frozen. So, what I'm going to do now, put my hair over, god damn, it's in my eyes. So, and then, yeah, I need a haircut, but I look good with my hair. When I fix my hair when it's long, and it actually cooperates, and that's actually good. So, we need to take the steering arm back out, and then we need to unscrew the nut on the end of this. I hand tighten it, but somehow it just got tighter. So we need to take the nut off the end of this. Put that on the table somewhere where you won't lose it. very hard to lose nuts on a table. If they're small enough, you can, though. Okay, all the kids are probably laughing at me right now. Yeah, 15 minutes and we're halfway done with this. When I was at this point in the last video, it was at 38 minutes. Because now I know how to do this. Acid reflex. That was not fake. I made a funny face, yeah, but that's because you people watching this, that's why I made a funny face. But that was actually real. I have acid reflex with that crap. I don't know how. I'm 13 and I have acid reflex, and I have all that bull crap. So the nut faces up. So you want to have the thread sticking out towards the shock tower, towards the top of the shock tower and body pin holders. I don't know what to call them. I'm just going to call them body pin holders. I don't really care anymore. Okay, so that is a wheel bearing. I accidentally put a wheel bearing on there. So put that on there. Okay, so God damn it. Okay, so we just hand tighten this on there again. And that is good. So now we just put the pin in and we hand tighten everything. If I can find the pin, it's right underneath this here. Oh, before we do this pin, we actually have to put the wheel pin back in. We have to put this wheel pin back in that the wheel attaches to. So that's very important. And then we just... Okay, this is harder to do with the steering arm on there. But here, I'll show you right now before I attach the wheel. Okay, what we do, you take the pin... Okay, I'm going to lay this down. Take the pin out of here. This is a trick that I learned, so the front pin for the wheel doesn't fall off every time. Because this pin right here that the wheel attaches to will fall in like that. But I'm surprised it hasn't yet by itself. So, you take the pin out, we put the pin in there like we're putting the wheel on, but we can't yet because we didn't put the other pin in to hold the spindle on. These bearings actually look like they're brand new. But because the pin can fall out of the sides, then we put the hex adapter on there. I'm gonna make sure that's lined up. Damn it. Okay, well, if the hex adapter isn't... Oh, there goes my wheel pin. I almost lost that. Right there. Okay, I didn't lose it. You're going to have to want to stand this up straight then, if you're putting the pin in. So, usually the pin slot is lined up with the corners on here. They're not really corners, they're just edges. Edges and corners. It's not a 45 degree. Well, actually, it closely is, but it's not a 90 degree corner like on a square. It's not a straight corner, but I call it a corner because then that's kind of like, oh, well, that's wrong, but hey, at least I know what that is. So the pin slot should line up perfectly 180 on the corners. So you can line that up. No, they're probably not called corners, but because that's on a square, I don't freaking know geometry terms that much. I know what it is, but all I know is quadrilaterals, polygons, and triangles. That's all I really know. I don't remember 4th grade that much. 4th grade was horrible. Everybody messed with me. So, what you want to do is push the pin in just a little bit. And then what you want to do is find it by going up and down and side to side. And just find that slot. So, because what that is it's like this. Okay, like you put the spindle in like that, and the pin goes through a hole. Pin goes through a hole that is perfect like that. So it just goes through and it holds it together. So, what we need to do is tighten this and tighten. Then we need to tighten the steering toe to the spindle. This is gonna be over 20 minutes, but okay, I'm changing what I said in the beginning of the video. If this takes under 25 minutes, then I'm gonna do the rear ones, or all the rest of the other two. I said I was gonna do all three, but now this is almost done, so I just say the other two. But if it takes over 25 minutes, or it just stops, I'll just let it stop on its own, because that's what it does. If the video is too long to actually store in one piece, then what it's going to do is it's going to stop, and it's going to tell me maximum length has reached. That's what it did with the last video, and I had to delete a couple of videos. So, if I can find my 6, right now the 7's not, okay, that's right, I put the 6 back in with the rest of them. I feel like something's wrong with my freaking wrist. Alright. This is the 6, right? That is the 6, but I just remembered the 6 is not the right size. The 6 is not the smallest one. The 6 is not the smallest one. The 1/4 is. The 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4. So put that on there. You gotta take the 7 off. Okay, and then we put the 1/4 on. And then we tilt it up, and then we screw it in with the Allen wrench bit. I don't like Allen. I like Allen wrenches better. Allen wrenches are good tools. Allen is a TV show. I don't like it. For older people, I'm 13. I like YouTube better. Alright, that's good. So, if it moves like that, then we're good. So, here's a trick though. I said this before. I'm going to say it again. I said it before in the video that was sideways, and I'm going to say it again. When you put the wheel on here, either you need to have it perfectly lined up automatically. You have to plop it straight down, perfectly lined up, or else it's not going to go on. And I'm actually very surprised I actually got that perfectly lined up. Let's say you put it on, like at even just a 5-degree offset, it's not going to be on there. So what I would do is I would hold this with your finger, the hex adapter with your finger like that on the edge, and you go, oh no, it's not on there. You hold that, you spin it to where it's on there. So what you do with your fingers, you push on that, and it stops it from spinning with the wheel. Because with the friction, because of gravity friction, what it's going to do is it's just going to be on top of there, and it's just going to spin around. You go like that, it's just going to spin around. It's not going to go, oh, that's how much water I have in my tire. Yes, I don't have the holes in there, but it's just going to spin around with it, and it's not going to go on there. Or what you could do is you could put the wheel nut on there, and tighten it all the way, okay, and then have your socket on there to hold that, and then do that, and that's already partially in there. But if you put it on there and you think it's on there, check, spin the wheel. If the wheel nut snaps like that, if you're pushing down on it and you go like that and it snaps, then it's on there. Because if you push down on it, it's going to stop the spindle, it's going to stop the pin from moving. Because it's not that much friction between the wheel sitting on there. So, alright. Lefty tighty, righty loosey. That's backwards. So look, it tightens like that. I'm going to back it up. If you don't hand tighten it, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen it. What it's going to do, that's not tightening it. So that's why you pinch this. And then when it's tightened enough, it'll do that on its own. But you got to hand tighten it as tight as you can for it to just start doing that without you having to pinch it if you don't feel comfortable doing that. Tighten it tight, but not too tight. Because if you over tighten it, you can damage your bearings and it won't spin freely like that. If it spins freely like this, then you're good. You gotta make sure it's not too wobbly like that. See, the steering has a lot of play, but if you gotta spin it up and down, you gotta wobble it. If it's still wobbly, tighten it more. If it feels too tight, leave it. But here's the thing. If it's not all the way pushed down all the way as far as possible on there, it's gonna feel the same tightness. You're gonna feel difference in that being slid down. Yeah, see, that's not spinning completely freely. It doesn't have as much play, but it's not spinning completely freely. So, loosen it. Okay, you loosen it. You're going to make sure when you spin it fast, it's still spinning right now. Before, it just went like that. It's instantly stopped. That didn't sound good. Okay, the other side doesn't sound good. This does. The other side might just be loose, though. Or over-tightened. Yeah, that's not good. I'm going to flip it over and see how this one spins. Yeah, that's over-tightened. So we're going to loosen this. So, like, if you over-tighten it and it's going to feel really tight, right when it drops, like, the tightness and the ease is just going to, like, then it spins like it's hand tightening, but okay, that's 27 minutes, but that's because I explained stuff. So now I'm going to do the rear. The rear ones is going to take maybe like 5 minutes because it's no steering in the back. But see, the steering has play side to side. But you got to make sure. If it does this really bad, like if it's like steering type. Oh, actually the steering arm is floppy. It's sloppy because the bell crank goes side to side and up and down like that. It's sloppy both ways. I seriously said floppy before. Because that's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect RC car, but it is pretty damn good. So, I'm going to set this down. This is rear wheel drive, so that's why there's no axle in the front. I don't know if you guys would see there an axle. But. So, take the nut off. I have plastic axles on here. I do have Pro lines for this, but they fall apart more than these plastic axles. So, when it does that, pinch it. Okay, that's inside of there. Alright, so after this, if it doesn't say maximum length reached... Oh, I do have these metal hex adapters, though, in the back. I like that. Okay. Oh, okay, because the back has the power. These do stick in there a lot more because of the constant power from the center. And if you have this problem where your wheels go like in and out, put washers in there. Okay, these washers are very dirty. Alright, paper towel time. Or not paper towel, but toilet paper, because toilet paper is softer. Soft. They make it soft for your asshole. Now it's made soft for my freaking washers. So, what you want to do is you want to put your thumb and your pointer finger like that over the washer with the toilet paper in between. Fold it over every side. And then just go like this. So what that does is the toilet paper spins like that over the washer. And it takes all the grease off, because this is very greasy for some reason. Yeah, this washer was black before. But see, now it's all shiny. I don't know if you can actually see how shiny that is, but that's like aluminum there. That's very shiny. So, you can put that there for the other washers. But if you have that problem in the back where your tire goes like that slightly and has that play, put washers in there. Put washer in between the wheel pin, in between the pin and the bearings. That will help a lot. That's my problem. That was my problem before. The washers fixed it. Ingenuity. And actually, I didn't come up with this. I actually saw it on the other Slash. So you can only put 2 back there. It will reduce the play. Even if it's not thick enough, reduced play is better. It's not as bad. Just take away as much play as possible. But don't overdo it. If you overdo it, then that's going to be bad for your pin and everything. So... I know all you guys might be, whoa, wheel pin, oh, hex adapter. These terms are scaring me for the starters. I don't know if that might scare you or not, those 2 terms. But spindle, A-arm, axle, holy crap, that's a lot of parts. Axle, yoke, axle, spindle. Oh, that's actually not, it's not actually that complex. When you take it apart and you look at it, it's not that complex. The last video, oh, okay, I do have a lot of space. Last video recorded up to 38 minutes, but I deleted some past videos that I recorded. I never deleted a single video off this phone. I have pictures back from 2016 on here, what my dad does, of the orange Arctic Cat that we used to have. So, yeah. Let's put this on there. Oh, that's good enough. So we take these 2 washers and we put these. I'm going to put them in my Pittsburgh lid. Set PS4 controller there. I want to put the washers in the Pittsburgh lid. So, again, this back is very simple. Okay, so the wheel pin on the bottom has one size bigger of an Allen wrench for some reason. Size for the head. So you gotta take off the rear camber first. Okay, just take off the camber. You're gonna see why you take off the camber first in just a second here when I finally get this off. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do all 3. I do remember how this works, it's just harder for me to do it. So then we get our bigger. See, actually, I told you to take the camber off first, just because if you have skilled enough hands, you can actually take the axle. You can take the front part of the axle up, but I'm not going to do that because I can't do that right now. So we take our bigger Allen wrench, one size up from the other one that worked on the camber. Take this out. I gotta use my chin. That's not going to work because my shirt makes it slick because it's cloth. So why I told you to take the camber out first is because with this, if this doesn't work, usually people can just pull them out like this. But see, if that doesn't work for you, you take your camber out first, because what you want to do is just go like that and rock it back and forth and pull it out with the pliers. But what I did is I put WD-40, I put some of that WD-40 down here and through the spindle and everything, and so I'm on this pin to lubricate it every time before I put it back together. That just helps the maneuverability and everything. But all the dirt got in there, so it's not as easy as it was before at first. God damn it. Just dropped my Allen wrench. Dropped my screwdriver. Alright, well. We